What is going on, guys? Today we're going to relocate the battery of my Skyline to the trunk. So here's everything that we're going to be using. We've got our cables. This is the ground. Ground doesn't need to be that long. Power does. This is 25 feet, I think, of 0 gauge wire. I like the 0 gauge just because it's bigger. It'll handle more amps. But you can use 2 gauge too, and some factory cars are 4 gauge. So it's really up to you what you want to use, but I just like using the 0. Got a terminal cover. Also got one for the ground. That's a good thing to have. We have some of this because I think my battery actually might be bad, which sucks. I have a yellow top Optima battery, and I'm getting corrosion on the negative terminal, which is very frustrating. It'll be fine, and then like a day later, it'll just be all white. So that's very annoying. So I'm going to try this out, and if that doesn't work, then I'm probably just going to get a new battery. Have a 250 amp breaker. I have the same setup in my 240. This is just to help protect the rest of the car if anything goes wrong with the battery. If we get too many amps drawn on this, then this is going to pop, and that disconnects the battery from the car. What's nice about this is you can just push it back and now it's good to go. We have a power distribution block, which is essential if you're going to be relocating your battery. Basically what we're going to do is just have the stock wires that normally go to the positive terminal go in this side, and then this side is going to be this cable that's going to the battery. So that just makes it super simple for the power wire. We have our battery. We have this really nice battery holder that's actually all sparkly, even though my camera isn't really picking it up. If you guys want a battery tied on like this or you need one, send me a DM on Instagram. I make these, I sell them. I can ship to anywhere in the US. If you're not in the US, shipping is ridiculous for these things just because of the height, the size of the box I have to use. It doesn't really make sense to send them out of country. So if you guys aren't in the US and you need something to hold your battery down, you're gonna have to find another one online. There's a lot of options though, so you should be fine. This is a Prius battery, so it has the teeny tiny terminals. This is a normal US battery terminal. That's no good. So I have these shims, place it on there, and then place that there, tighten it up, and it's all good. So the reason I'm doing that is because I can't find any non-US terminals. Even when I look online, I'm not really finding them, which is interesting. So I'm just going to use these for now, and if I end up getting another battery, I'm probably just going to get a Honda battery because they're similar size and they have the normal terminals, and I'm pretty sure the cranking amps and everything are going to be pretty comparable. But yeah, that is all the stuff that we're going to be using. It's pretty simple. We're just going to need mounting hardware for this stuff. But overall, it's actually pretty easy to relocate your battery. So here's a Skyline. Ignore what's going on with here. We're not going to be able to start the car up. This is where the battery sits stock. This is the positive terminal. So we have factory 2 wires going to here. I added an extra one because I rewired the headlights, so that's not a factory thing, but you may or may not have an extra wire on your power terminal. So basically what I'm going to do is just cut these off, and we're going to figure out where we want to mount the power distribution block, and then we're going to connect these 3 wires to that. And as far as the ground, the factory ground is that bolt there. Don't worry, I had that bolt in there while I painted, so underneath it, it's bare metal. So we're still going to get a good ground from there. This is the factory ground right here. I cut it because I had to mess with some stuff, but I cut it and I'm just going to bolt it here. That's also bolted to the motor, because what we're going to do is put the ground cable to the chassis somewhere in the trunk. So in the trunk, where I'm going to be putting the battery is on this side, because we are a right-hand drive, so the battery weight will be offset by me, even though the battery is like 20 pounds or something, so it's not that big of a deal, but I'm going to throw it on that side anyways. So I'm just going to push it up here as far as I can in the back corner. This little panel, when it comes off, there's just the jack there, but I don't even have anything else. I just have the jack. I don't have the rod or anything to put in there, so I never even use that, so it's just chilling there. So that's going to stay there. I never need to get in there anyways. So this is how the battery's going to sit. There is just enough room to where I can keep this panel. I won't have to notch it or anything, so that's great because it'll still give me a normal trunk floor. We are going to have to drill through the carpet, but that's okay. It's just going to be 4 little holes, and I'm going to have to drop the muffler so I can put the nuts on the other side of the bolts for this, but that's not a big deal. That's another reason why I'm putting it on this side, because on this side we have the gas tank and I'm not trying to drop that. So what I'm going to start with is running the cable up to the front from the trunk, and then I'll figure out what I want to do with the power distribution block. The back seats need to come out, this trim panel needs to come off, this needs to come off, just little panels here and there. We're going to have the wire come out on that side, go across, down, bring it over to here through the front. We're to come out of that factory grommet, bring it up along here, and it's going to pop out down here. I'll probably have to take this out, and I'll have to unbolt this and move it around because I think I'm gonna hide the distribution block right in here. But anyways, let's start with the seats. Right around here, there's a little tab on the seats on both sides that goes into the floor and it locks it. So all you have to do is you have to find where it is, and then you need like a pry bar or a really long wrench, and you have to just pry it up, and it feels like it's gonna break, but it's not. It's just gonna pop out. It's really a pain in the ass sometimes, but that's how you take that out, and then you can just pull the seats out. So I actually got it out really simple. I have this big ass wrench here. I just put it on here. This is the little tab that I was talking about. I just put it on like that and then just pried up, and it popped out of this slot, and did that for the other side, and now the seat can come out. There's just one 10 mil bolt here, one 10 mil bolt there, and then you just gotta get the seat belts out of the way. You don't have to unbolt it, but you can if you want to. And then you have to push up on the top, and then that'll bring it off. Okay, so seats are out. Right here is the trunk. So I'm going to run the wire through here. I gotta figure out what I want to do for here. So I gotta see how it'll look if I just tuck it under the carpet. I really don't want to run it this way and through the center console because I just don't. Seems like it's gonna be a lot more work. I actually relocated a battery on a Skyline not too long ago, and I'm pretty much just copying what we did, except we put it on the other side of the trunk because we didn't have enough wire, unfortunately. But overall, it worked out. So shout out to Christian. Check out his Skylines. He's got a 4-door and a 2-door, but he left me and went back to Japan again. So I had to pop this panel over because the hole that we're going through is right there. So I think I'm going to use one of these 2 bolts for the chassis ground. So whichever one I choose, I'll just take some sandpaper and take the paint off. I don't know what's behind here. I can see plugs and wires, but I'm not too sure what's behind there. But anyways, one of those are going to be the ground. So let's feed the power through. So I had to modify my holder just a little bit because I didn't know where else to mount this guy. So I added a little bracket to it. Now that's mounted there, so I just got to go from here up to here, and then the wire that we fed into the trunk is going to bolt to here. So we got our wire ran all the way across the top, brought it down right into there, and we were able to tuck it here. We had to lift the carpet a little bit and tuck it down so it's running along the side, and then it pops up right there. So now we just got to get it through that grommet. Now we're back at the trunk. We're doing the final touches. We're getting the battery holder mounted, and I just got the power wire through. Had to drill a little hole through there just so it can just connect to the breaker there. I figured that's the cleanest, and this panel already had damage anyway, so it is what it is. That was the cleanest way that I can think of. So I'm just getting this lined up, and then we'll mark my holes and drill them, and I believe I'm going to have to take the muffler off so I can get the nuts on the other side. And just like that, we have everything set up. We've got our ground, we've got our power, we have our breaker, which right now I have tripped. So now I should be able to just turn this breaker on, and we should have power. Let's put the key in. So we can put the key in, and I can hear my fuel pump. We got lights on the dash. So we are good to go. So we got the battery located and everything is good on it. I'll have a link to everything I used in the description. Again, if you want to get one of those battery boxes off me, send me a DM and I'll make one for you. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.